evening, everyone. How's everybody doing? Good? Okay, we're just going to warm up. We're not going to start yet. We're just going to warm up, so feel free to still be in warm-up mode. Let's say Rosh Hashanah hasn't started yet. How's everybody doing? Good. Welcome, friends. Welcome. Who's never been to Temenos before? Welcome, newcomers. Welcome, oldcomers. Welcome, first night of the year, friends. We haven't started yet, so we get to pretend we're not in Rosh Hashanah. So give me your hands like this. We have things to do before it's Rosh Hashanah. It's not yet. Shake out your hands as if you're shaking off all the residue from a whole year that you no longer want to take into 5784. So ordinarily we do this on a Friday night, and we shake for a few minutes. If we're going to shake off a whole year's worth of accumulated gook, we might have to be here a little longer or do it more intently. Oh. Okay, do your neck a little bit. We're an embodied community. We're going to get everywhere. Okay, neck. Let's do the neck. Nice. Circles. Twists. Let's do, give your knees a little rub. Let's get the legs going on. Lower body too. We're not just the top half. Bottom half is nice also. I know all the good spots. If you'd like to know where the good spots are, you come see me after services. I'll show you where the good spots are. I was trained by a guy named Shmuel Tatz. He was the resident physical therapist in Carnegie Hall for many years and worked on all the musicians, so I know all the musician spots. Okay, now we're going to go back to the breathing. We're going to inhale. We're still going to be with our hands, and we're going to groan as if we're groaning out a year's worth of gook. So breathe in like this with the hands. Exhale with a mighty groan. Oh! This is going to help us sing. Breathe in. Exhale, mighty groan. Oh! One more time. Big breath in. Breathe in. Exhale. Oh! That feels good. We feel at ease with each other now that we've grown together. One more time. One more groan so we really feel at ease. Breathe in. Exhale. Oh! Okay, now the breath should be deepening. Let's breathe and draw the breath really down into the bottom of the diaphragm. Breathe in. Good job. Exhale. Keep breathing while I talk. I took a breath the other night, and it was so short, and it was the deepest breath I could take, and it was still so short. I said to myself, oh my God, you spent the whole year like half breathing. So like this should be a reminder. These should be the best breaths of the year. And I'll show you how deep we can go. All the way to the bottom of the diaphragm. Breathe in. Exhale. Lower than the diaphragm into the legs. Breathe into the legs. Breathe in. Another one further down, directed at the feet. Breathe in all the way down to the feet. Breathe in. Another one all the way to the toes, the edge of the being. Breathe in. Exhale. Okay, now take the hands. Oh, somebody's getting the face. Let's get the face. No, we're going to do that later. I'm going to get your face later. No, we're ready now. Okay, let's do it now. Behind the jawbone. Now these are really serious, okay? Because the reason why I was saving this for later is that I'd like you to leave tonight with a new face. If you're going to leave with a new face, we have to get all these points. So there's a point behind the jaw that I can feel in myself is full of tension, which means it hasn't been touched in some time. It's probably affecting your smile. Reach it back. There's some secret spots. You see how the head is shaped with a bump in the back? Right below that bump is a point that has access to the vagus nerve and can bring serious calm. And so if you find a point that has tension, it means it needs to be touched. And feel around for the spots. You work for your spots. You go up, you go down, you go left, you go right. And you find the spot that needs, and it might fix your foot. Touch the back of the head and it might fix your foot, or if you have an elbow ache, it might fix your elbow. Okay, another secret spot. Ready? If you're wearing glasses, you might need them off for this. This is my favorite. There's a spot underneath the bone that's above the eye. Look at me. It's here, underneath. And if you lean your head into it, you'll get extra weight. And again, feel around to find your spots. And then when you feel like you've got it, drop your head into it so that the weight of your head hits the point and you get extra pressure without doing anything. Breathe. Anybody find something really nice in that spot? Not yet. I'm telling you, it's a secret one. Let's do the cheeks just a little bit. Really, we're going to get the face. Wake up the face as if you can go into the new year with a new face. Temples. Forehead. I imagine in very few other services they're beginning Rosh Hashanah with face massages. Okay, around the nose, under the eyes. Hey, Mook. Sinuses here. Sinuses hold a lot of pressure. And if you massage your sinuses, your breath automatically deepens. Okay, now open your mouth wide like this. Stick out your tongue. Let's do a growl. 1, 2, 3. My grandfather, who I might speak about later, could touch his nose with his tongue, and the skill has been passed on to me. If you can touch your tongue with your nose with your tongue, give it a shot. Whoa. It might just be my nose. Okay, let's shake out the hands and groan one more time. Breathe in. Exhale with a groan. Very nice. And let's now take our hands over to our hearts. We're going to try and wake up the heart just as we woke up the face. Breathe in. We'll be on our own breaths. The heart is in such a delicate position with where our world is at right now, because the heart has a yearning to feel the pain and suffering of the people near to us and the people far away from us that we know are suffering. Our heart has a yearning to feel the suffering of other people. But it can only handle so much, and that when it arrives at its end, it shuts down or hardens or turns off. And that balance could be described as the whole of the spiritual practice, to keep your heart tender and open to love and suffering without growing hard. I had a vision for tonight that we're going to enact. I thought it would be sweet to start the service lighting candles all together. So we're going to sing. We're going to sing now, and I love this church. Welcome to the beautiful First Unitarian Church, and we love the community here that's so sweet to us. So it always feels like a sweet place to come into. But what I don't love is that the pews are all seated like this, and we're seated like this, and it's like a face-to-face when really it should be a round and a mesh and a mush. So if I could do the seats, I would mesh them and mush them. And so we're going to try and do that in the service as much as possible. So we're going to sing now a nigun, one of my favorite ones, which is a wordless melody, and because we warmed up our voices, we can all sing together. But we're going to leave the pews. So we're going to come here to sing the nigun, and then we're all going to light the holiday candles together so that the walls can be broken. So as we start to sing this thing, find a place here or here or here, and then after we do that, after we sing, but we have to sing, then we'll light candles together. So you're free to roam. I'm going to do Tversky. Tversky. Start meeting people. Everybody's a friend, even the people I don't know. Hi, Cyrus. Hi, Dina. Sage, la 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 la, la 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 la, la. Try this. La 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 la, la la la, la 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 la, la la la. La la la, yeah, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la Okay, sing with me, ready? La 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 la, oh, la 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 la, la la. La down without me? Yeah. Again. Outside in, outside in, outside in. Everybody come light a candle. Only one for you. Everybody else. La 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 use a candle. Don't go too far. Don't go too far. Later. La 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 la. Candles, come. Li la 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 la. Li la 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 la. Big solo. Come, a few more. And stay close, don't leave me. Come, we've almost got a candle of soul to the whole room. La 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 Luna. Hi Luna. La la Come quick, come. Okay, last one, let's sing. Come back. Come so we're around the candles. We gotta look at the candles. I see like 4 or 5 candles. Did you not light a candle? And you wanted to light a candle? Okay, and you two have to do these two, okay? They're significant. Last call. I'm gonna light for my family. Go ahead, Michael. No, you. Last one. Okay, we close our eyes. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat v'yom tov. Friends, I've fallen in love with a French philosopher that nobody knows. His name is Gaston Bachelard. And he did work in each of the elements. And this is from a book called The Flame of a Candle. I find the first night of the year always really weird. The first 10 years I worked as a rabbi, I didn't know it was so weird, but it's as if the world is returning to nothingness before it can be created. In the nighttime, the dark reminds us of that nothingness. And the first night is always weird. The vibe is never good, so I'm kind of amazed that the vibe feels so good. The vibe never feels good first night. And so it's a tender night. It's a delicate night. It's not a night for extravagance. And this little passage from Bachelard is really tender, and I think it points us to the right place. So eyes on the candles, okay? And we've got one a soul, which is really special. Thank you for being with us this really auspicious first night of the year. Reveries, he loves this word reveries, like reveries. dreams, visions. Reveries of faint light will lead us back to the wee space of familiarity. It seems that there are dark corners in us that tolerate only a flickering of light. A sensitive heart loves fragile values. It communes with values that struggle, hence with the feeble light that struggles against darkness. Thus, all our reveries of faint light retain psychological reality in today's life. They have a meaning, and I would boldly state a function. In fact, they may give a psychology of the unconscious, a complete image system for exploring dreaming existence subtly and naturally without ambiguity. Reveries of faint light make the dreamer feel at home. The dreamer's unconscious becomes home for him. The dreamer, that twin of our being, that chiaroscuro of the thinking person, feels secure in his existence during this reverie in faint light. Whoever trusts in the reveries of faint light will discover this psychological truth. The tranquil unconscious, an unconscious without nightmares and in harmony with its reverie, is quite precisely the psyche's chiaroscuro, or better yet, the chiaroscuro's psyche. Images from this faint light teach us to love the chiaroscuro of innermost vision. A lamplight dreamer will understand instinctively that images of faint illumination are our innermost pilot lights. Their glimmers become invisible when thought is at work in the clarity of consciousness, but when thought is at rest, these images remain active. Consciousness of the chiaroscuro of consciousness is present in such an enduring way that every being awaits an awakening of being. John Wall knows this well. He says it in a single line. O little light, O source, delicate dawn. So this is a blessing on the small pilot lights of our being that might be the source of our deepest visions. Shana Tova, let's wish Shana Tova to new friends, meet some new friends tonight and find our seats. Shana Tova. What's your name? Emma, I know you, Emma, I know your last name. Thank you for coming, Shana Tova. Shana Tova, Zafi. Shana Tova, Nazi. Happy New Year. Shana Tova. Zach. Tim. Shana Tova, baby. Shana Tova. Shana Tova. Shana Tova. Shana Tova, Frank. Shana Tova. Shana Tova. Yedid Nefesh on page 5. We're going to receive soulfulness. It's Shabbos and it's Rosh Hashanah, and extra soul is waiting to be sucked up. So here's our opportunity. Let's draw in extra measures of soul. We sing Yedid Nefesh to welcome the holiday and Shabbat. ידיד הנפש עבר החמן משוך ודח אל רצונה ירוץ ודח כמו היד ישתחווה מול הדרה ירב לו ידידותיך מנופץ ובכל תלם ותקיימו נרחמך וחוסנה על בן אהוביו כי זה כמה נחשפתי לראות בתפארת עוזה אליך חמדה ליבי וחוצנה ואל תתעלם יגאלנה ופרוס חביב עליי אהיה צוקת שלומה תאיר הארץ מכבודה נגילה ונשמחה בה אראו כי במועד וחננו כימי עולם Okay, friends, let's rise. We're gonna make the Baruchu on. Oh, yeah, we'll do that next. We're going to make the Baruch Hu on page 9. Welcome our friends that are all over the world, too. We've got friends that are all over the world, and we've got fantastic Jay and Tom making the service available to the world over. So welcome friends that are, you guys can wave at Jay. He's up there with his headphones on, and Tom's hiding somewhere. Thank you, Jay and Tom. And thank you, friends, the world over. I feel we're not warmed up enough. We're going to do Psalm 92 on page 7. When the Shabbat and the holiday fall together, the liturgy changes a little bit. So this is one that's a psalm for the week. It'll be okay. Guys, learn this part with me. It's 3 notes. It's really sweet. It comes in the middle. La 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 la. Try this. La 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 la. Loud. La 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 la. Everything feels better if we're not shy. La 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 la. One more time. Play with some theories later, and if we sing loudly, it'll help the discussions we'll have, because we'll have a taste of what it feels like to hear each other. ואמונתך בלילות עלי עשור ועלי נווה עלי היגיון בכינור שימחתני אדוני ופעל לך במעשה ידיך עליי. Here we go. La 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 la. With me. La 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 la. Leave la 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 la. La 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 la. Friend who's not usually with us, Zafar Tawil. Nazi Antakli on percussion. My friend David Lismy playing the bass. Let's sing another verse. Cares balvano nigizke shtulim behevet adona bechatzrut Eloheinu yafrichu od yinuvon besivalha Shenim Ranahanim Yiyu Lehagid Ki Ashar Adonata Surim Lo Alav Tabo La 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 la. Yes. Build this. La, 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 la. We make a bed for Zafar. La, 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 la. Here he goes. La, 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 la. Okay, now we're ready for the Shema. Let's find some stillness and peace and quiet and centeredness. Now that we have that image of the candle, imagine that there might be benefit to feeling that the lamp of your soul tonight is a delicate candle. That what Bachelard taught us was that new reveries emerge in faint light. So, in this night of beginnings, when we're just coming out of infinite darkness, infinite tohu vavohu, nothingness, and mystery substance from which the world emerges. Imagine that it does so in the faintest of light. Quiet, pilot-light candles. Take a deep breath in. On page 10. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך ובביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם מניות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. In the middle of Micha Mocha, which we're going to sing in a second, our friend Jen Lu is going to read us a piece of poetry. And I'd like everyone to know that Jen Lu is the first member of Temenos. When we closed the first year, Jen said, I'm getting in. I want to be the first member of Temenos. And she sent in a gift amount that hadn't been matched, not in number, but in specificity of number, down to the cents. We're very particular, and so Jen is a good friend of Temenos, and she's gonna read us a piece. But we're gonna sing Micha Mocha, which she's gonna read inside of. So we're on page 12. And Zafar is going to play a taksim in Ajam as if it's the beginning of the world. tell you later. Wow. Mi chamocha Bahelim Adonai Mi chamocha Nedar v'kodesh Nora Tehilo Ose Vere Mi chamocha Bahelim Adonai Mi chamocha Nedar v'kodesh
There are two kinds of intelligence. One acquired, as a child in school memorizes facts and concepts from books and from what the teacher says, collecting information from the traditional sciences as well as from the new sciences. With such intelligence, you rise in the world. You get ranked ahead or behind others in regard to your competence in retaining information. You stroll with this intelligence in and out of fields of knowledge, getting always more marks on your preserving tablets. There is another kind of tablet, one already completed and preserved inside you, a spring overflowing its spring box, a freshness in the center of the chest. This other intelligence does not turn yellow or stagnate. It's fluid, and it doesn't move from outside to inside through the conduits of plumbing learning. This second knowing is a fountainhead from within you, moving out.
Ahanu ve'ameru Adonai lo Leolam bohe Baruch Baruch Ata Adonai Gad Israel La 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 Yeah. 15. Tiku b'chodesh shofar b'kesel yom chagenu ki chok l'Yisrael hu mishpat l'Elohei Yaakov. We're going to sound the shofar tomorrow while the moon is dark. The lunar time is so is such a part of us. The lunar time and the Jewish holidays, they follow the moon. The Rosh Hashanah is in the dark of the moon, and Yom Kippur is almost reaching its fullness, and then Sukkot will be in the fullness of the moon, as if wisdom is in parallel to the moon. And I'm going to make you the argument in a few moments. It's not just in parallel, it's with the moon. Our intelligence is literally moving with the moon. It's different on the full moon than it is on the new moon. But first, we're going to make a prayer for peace. These holidays are taking place in such a turbulent world full of so much devastation and destruction. So we're going to make a prayer for peace, and it's with heavy hearts. A friend of ours just went back to Morocco in time for the earthquakes, and it's not good there. I could feel from the feeling of messages and voices of how disturbed everybody is. Even if you survived, everybody's disturbed. And Libya, it's just, walking into these holidays is so, we're so profoundly lucky to be able to make the prayers of Rosh Hashanah at all. So we'll make them on behalf of those people that could not. We make a prayer for peace, Ufros, on 15.
פרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ותקננו בעצה טובה לפניך להושיע. פרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ותקננו בעצה טובה לפניך. ראש לה 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 together. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ותקננו בעצה טובה לפניך.
We're going to take a couple of moments to be in our own prayers and thoughts and to send love to the people in our lives that we're yearning to connect with on this first night of the year. So personal prayers for a couple of minutes. If you'd like to stand, you're welcome. If you'd like to sit, you're also welcome. make a prayer for healing. I'd like to call in the people in your life that are in need of healing, pieces of ourselves, people with physical and bodily healing, heart healing, relationship healing, soul healing. We're going to make Rafat Siri on 16.
Fatziri el neman ki ad rofa uma al roshi shorcha shivete koach lenafshi betach she'arachamim am shochen amromi alav na'asima chazida imerachim bilada tefil hati shalei ezrati b'meradot keraleam ben hagvira
Shana Tova, everybody. How's everybody feel? Thank you so much for being here. Sweet energy. You feel good to me. If you feel unsure to yourself, you feel good to me, and I could be projecting, but I don't know. I guess I'd have to look each of you down and really get a sense if I'm going to give. But the general feeling is good. Wow. This was a different year for me than it usually is. Usually, I love this season very much. I find it. I created a rhythm for myself where I do a lot of learning over the summer, and instead of teaching stale material, I teach really fresh material, and I don't know exactly how that rhythm wrote itself, but it did, and it's ingrained, and so it feels so good, you know, when you have to teach. I imagine there's a lot of teachers here. It feels so much better to teach fresh material than material you've done a few times. And you can get by, you know, 2, 3, you got ones that are really good and you go back to, but you hit 6 or 7 times, 10 times, it's like, and I feel that way with some of the songs. I'm like, we're not gonna do that one. We did that one too much. So that's my usual rhythm. We recorded an album in August, and I said to to some of the guys, hey, we need to do it in June. They said, we can't do June. I said, I got the high holidays in August. I can't do it. They're like, nah, you'll be okay. And I guess I'm okay. I'm here. I don't feel entirely okay. It altered my rhythm. The rhythm that I thought I had was not available to me, and the musical experience, which I hope to tell you about, was so deep that I had to figure out how to get from here to here, and it was hard. It wasn't an easy one. It was a complex one, and I think what I had to say to myself, my first rabbi teacher is here. I'm so thrilled Erwin's here, and one of the first things we learned together, I remember being very young, was there's these 3 words that appear in the Torah in my portion, Ba'asher Husham, where the kid is. It's referring to a kid's place, and you go find the kid where he is, and in the commentaries, and as I learned it, and now it's making sense more than it ever has before, you can only do what's available to you in this moment. You know, in this moment, I made a record, and in this moment, you did whatever you did, and so how you show up to Rosh Hashanah this year, it's what's available, and you bring all the offerings, and there'll be new offerings that you didn't expect, even though you didn't prepare as you had prepared before. So I am here, and I'm bringing what I brought. And so if I make it through the next 10 minutes, it'll be a little miraculous. I think what I learned and realized was that experience was not separate, that the recording of the album was so deep, so profound, maybe one of the most transformative experiences of my life, and I've made albums before, that counted as holiday preparation. Usually I read 30 books, and then I write for a month, and that wasn't available this year. Making an album was, and so I'm prepared in a different way, and it got my heart prepared. My heart is exactly in the right place. My brain is a little scattered. I'm not entirely capable of this and that. But my heart's here, and I think that might be what's most important. Great. The theme is the archetype of intelligence. The archetype of intelligence. I try to pay attention to what's happening in the world, and I think something big is happening in the world. We're going to talk about artificial intelligence, not at all except for the 30 seconds right here and then never again. What bothered me about what's happening is that the culture feels like it's going through something really big. A shift in human consciousness is about to happen. And what I didn't like was that it felt like every time this word intelligence is being used a lot, but what intelligence are we talking about? What ground is underneath those 2 words that are coming together and appearing before us? What intelligences do we value? What's the intelligence that we really value? What culture of intelligence does our society create, and which path do we follow it and say okay, and which we say no, this is not right, this is diseased, this is making us sick, this is burning down the planet, this is not the way to go. And so I thought we need to do an archetypal study of intelligence, that is the whole of intelligence that's available. And if we look at that, then the conversation around artificial intelligence, I think, we'll have a much better grasp of. With me so far? Agree? Great. So what I think will be fun is over the course of these holidays, people are going to come up and talk about rock intelligence and tree intelligence and bee intelligence and the intelligence around death and the intelligence around birth and mother's intelligence. So we really get a window into all these places and areas of expertise so you get to say to yourself, wait, my mind is strange and unique, and I've taught myself to think and feel and touch and be in relationship with the world in ways that nobody else has. For the first 10 years of being a rabbi, everybody told me I needed to do bullet points so that they remember what I talked about when I go out, so here come the bullet points. I have a 3-part theory about what this new archetype of intelligence is going to look like. Oh, and wait, before we get there, as much as the society feels like it's walking down this really deranged path, I feel this other strand emerging, it feels very clear. There's artists, the artists who we get to meet tomorrow who made these incredible things that are part of our service and not part of the church. My friend Sophie Strand, who's an amazing writer, there's these intelligences of animacy that are returning intelligence to all the beings of the planet. It's no longer this hierarchy of human intelligence on top. This other thing is emerging, and I'm going to speak about that, and I think that's the place we need to develop. Here's the three pieces. One is what I'm calling an evolutionary intelligence. Let's name them first, and then I'll go through each one. The second is the personal intelligence that's unique to each of us. The evolutionary intelligence is all the beings that have ever existed in all of time. We have access to what their minds learned. 2, personal intelligence. Each of us is so profoundly unique that when we say you're talking to you, it's actually not. My intelligence is so different from yours, and all the fights that we get into are because we're just made so differently, and we pretend, oh, you're made more or less like me, we're all more or less human beings. I think the opposite is sometimes true. We're actually so unique that our dissonances come from our uniquenesses. And then the third one is mysterious. It's called wisdom from nothingness. That's the one I'm most excited to talk about, so I'll try to get to that one in a hurry. And I won't keep you too long. Maybe I will. The thing about the music was that there was no fluff. There was no fluff in the music. You try to record and you try to not make one extra note. No BS, no like, I'm playing just to play. And this role in this chair, I can feel myself doing it. There's so much fluff because, you like need to make a room. And I said to myself, I can't do any fluff this year. I can't do it at all. And here I find myself a little fluffy. I guess there's a balance between what we need as a community, and it feels like we need a little fluff. It brings smiles, it makes me smile. Okay, this evolutionary intelligence, here's my theory. I found, I can't remember the name of the map. It was a really cool world. It's on one of these papers, but I can't find it. It's like a paleo, it was a fantastic word, I'll tell you later. It's a map of when species emerge from each other. Can anybody name the word? Any evolutionary biologists in the crowd with that intelligence? Paleo, something cool. So like all the butterflies, they can trace to the origin of the first butterfly, and in these charts, and all the whales, and all the fish, and all the trees you can have a map for each of these that traces the origins. I was researching these, and I came upon a map from an artist, and he found me on Instagram right away. He's like, ooh, this is really cool what you're doing, thanks. I was like, okay. He makes a spiral image of the whole history of life, measured in billions of years, from the center outward, billions and billions and billions and billions of years, and he charts all the most significant. You have a question, Luna? Yes, like a timeline. Okay, and if people have questions, it's way more fun with questions, so feel free to stop me. I like it much better. It's good fluff. So it's like a timeline, starts in the center, and the first thing in the center, I think, was the Big Bang. But if I was doing it from the Torah's version, there would be like lots of nothingness first. There would be nothingness in the very beginning, and then you'd have the Big Bang. And then they did have something like the dark ages of the stars. There was a dark ages after the Big Bang for a number of years. And then you get the galaxies and the stars and the planets. You get the history of all the galaxies and the Milky Way and this and that. And then you get something like, you get the planets, you get the ones that caught my eye. You get the first sand dunes emerging. You got the first oceans first. You get the first creatures that are, the first cells. And then you get the first multicellular things that we can call an organism now because it's more fancy names, and we love the poetry of all the things, eukaryotes and amoebas. What do you got, Luna? How do humans know when this stuff happens? These are people with intelligence very different than mine. Very, very different than mine. Like, I couldn't do those things. I have no concept. I would have to work so many lifetimes with these genes and brains to figure out how to do that. Thank God there's a person with a different brain than me that figured that stuff out. I have no idea, but we could research. I love research. Good question, Luna. So here's the theory. What if, okay, and then in one of the other books that I loved, the atoms of the world are going from life form to life form. When you die, when each of us dies, we're going to become earth. We're going to become dirt, Luna, after we die, if we're buried, and especially if we're no matter what we are, no matter what you do to the body afterwards, we're going to become some form of dirt or dust. And then we're going to be eaten by a worm. And the worm is going to be eaten by some bigger thing. And that thing is going to die and become the dirt again. It's going to be eaten by another worm. And then it's going to be eaten by a cow. And then it's going to become milk. Then it's going to feed a human being. Then it's going to be the cells of a human being. Then it's going to be a mother, and it's going to birth children. And then, you get it? The atoms are moving through, and life is moving in and out of the atoms in various degrees of living forms. But life is not changing, and the material is not changing. We're just moving like this, and we've been all these things. These atoms have been the darkness that came after the Big Bang for millennia. And the theory is that we have the intelligence of each one of those steps available to us. You have the intelligence of darkness available to you. You have the intelligence of fire available to you, stars, planets. You have the intelligence of water. How long were these atoms water? And so this season of becoming mutable, letting your being become mutable so that you can be the next iteration of yourself for the next year, has to do with the wisdom we learned when the planet was entirely water. Piece 1. Oh, I've got a really cool thing about cocoons. Maybe we save that for tomorrow. Save that for tomorrow. I'm learning to control myself. Okay, second piece. Personal intelligence, how each one of us knows, feels, touches, interprets, senses, listens. Okay, that's what I'm talking about with intelligence. It's not only a thinking word. We're understanding now that we think with our bodies, we think with our hearts, and that each one of us does that really differently. One, I think it's a profound source of compassion. When you see somebody struggling, if you see somebody struggling in your household and you have to deal with their struggles, when you see your own struggles, we see the world as if through a series of veils. The veils accumulate on account of childhood is really significant, and what it was like in the womb of our mother, the vibrations that passed through us in the earliest iterations of our being, formed the veils by which we see the world. Youth, culture, the culture that we're immersed in, and devotion is one of my favorite words. The devotion you choose shapes your mind. It's the thing that you're going to spend countless hours in front of, and we're going to be shaped by this thing. And so, as a musician, I think so differently than a writer or a painter, a philosopher, a banker. We think so differently. So I was laughing in the middle of that song was that for 6 months, maybe a year, I have been trying to learn a rhythm that's called shabi. It comes from Morocco. It's in 6. And the downbeat, the doom, the boom, the big beat falls on beat 5. And all of the music we listen to, the big beat falls on 1. So you go doom, tak, 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 doom, tak, tak, tak. This is R6. Doom, tak, 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 doom. I've been trying to get this other beat for a whole multiple years. And I don't bother Zafar that much, but Zafar's the one that really pushed me over the finish line. Yesterday, Rich, who's not with us now, was there for the record. Rich, I text all the time. I record 30 seconds of me playing the rhythm, and I say, I got it now. Rich, I got it now. And he says, that's not it. I do this at all hours. I have the music nonstop. I'm banging on stuff at home, like Zivar's looking at me like, are you seriously banging on something again? She doesn't even have to give 2 looks. She just she feels it,
and I know to stop banging. Now, what is that? That's the next category. She has to say nothing. I feel her thought occur to her, and I know that I need to stop the taka-da-taka-da-taka-da-taka. So when we're singing that song, I can't stop this rhythm. I'm like, the other rhythm's in 4, and I can't do it. I'm like only on this other thing. So this is the mind of a musician. I did want to say a word or two about my own intelligence, because I feel right now Temenos is being built by community, but I've got an exaggerated stake in it. And so some of the energy that you feel has to do with my sense of intelligence and the intelligences that I value in the world, and I imagine this is a space that speaks to us. And so I did want to say a bit about that, so that you can start to feel in the worlds you're creating with the intelligences that you cultivate. Because my time is short, I'm just going to say one thing. In addition to creativity and making beauty, the heart really became the metric. For whenever anybody, in the beginning it wasn't like this, but at a certain point I only wanted to play and work with people whose heart was in a certain place. It didn't matter how gifted a musician, how skilled at this or that. For me, the character of the heart, its openness, its tenderness, its sweetness, its joy, those things really mattered. And so, I feel that from everybody here, and when I cultivate something, that's usually what's at the core. The music is secondary to, it's got to be like that. So personal intelligence. Okay, the last one that I was most eager to talk about. In Job, in the story of Job is living his life, and then his whole world is destroyed. His whole world is crumbled in an instant. And I joke that as an adjective, this word, I like it as a jokey adjective, Jobin. But it's not a joke, in that the world is feeling very Jobin now, that instantaneously life is altered, and profound, unbearable amounts of suffering are introduced, and the hearts of people are struggling to process. At some point where Job is trying to make sense of his world that's been shattered, in this most beautiful chapter 28, it's an ode to wisdom, and where is wisdom? Where is intelligence? Where can we find it? And the chapter is, human beings are digging into the holes of the earth to find rubies and gems and silver, and the birds of the sky are searching out, but where is wisdom to be found? It doesn't matter how deep you dig or how high you ascend, you can't see it. It has no place. And so the phrase is v'chochma me'ayin timatzeh, the Hebrew word for intelligence, wisdom. It's intelligence in its loftiest sense is chochma. It's a beautiful word, chochma. I'm going to make a joke in the middle of a serious discussion. This is my favorite, Uncle Donnie's favorite joke. He says, I met a guy. He was so Jewish. His name was It's the only joke I know. I know one joke. It's that joke. It's easy for me to remember. And so that word, chochma, ve'chochma me'ayin timatzeh. Where's wisdom to be found? So that's already a good question to leave with. If you just leave with this question of where is wisdom, where is intelligence, where do I find it? But the Kabbalists do something very, very beautiful. Raise your hand if you know about the Kabbalistic diagram of the Sfirot. A few. Okay, good. The Kabbalists have a map that's a parallel map. It's a map of the human being, of our psychological makeup, and a map of the cosmos and how God is made up. In the same map, a human being is a little world, is their phrase. And so the same map is for the map of the divine structure and the human structure, which is already beautiful. The second highest most piece is chokhmah, okay? And it's paralleled with another word for understanding, is bina. And the one airs more masculine, one airs more feminine, one airs right brain, one airs left brain, one airs lunar consciousness, which is slow, developing, open to the dark, open to being stirred, and chokhmah, which is pointed, and light consciousness, focus. And we think in these two distinct ways. These are the upper two. There's one more above. That one more is called ayin, nothingness. And at the beginning of the universe, at the beginning of time, at the beginning of existence, so many of the spiritual systems posit nothingness as the thing from which everything is emerging. And our phrase, v'chokhmah me'ayin timatzeh, translates literally as where is wisdom to be found, but listen for the two words that we just talked about, v'chokhmah me'ayin timatzeh. That highest point is named nothingness. It also means where. So there's a Hebrew pun, where and nothingness are the same, so it translates to, instead of where is wisdom to be found, wisdom is emerging from nothingness. Now that's a meditation. I love this, and I've been sitting with this. So what's that mean? Wisdom emerging from nothingness. There's a beautiful piece from Rumi, the poet, that we'll do tomorrow, along with the cocoon. So now I know my sermon for tomorrow, and it wasn't planned. Thank you. But here's how we'll explain the nothingness tonight. So we have to shift. We've been in a system of intelligence that believed that the thinking being with a skin around it was isolated, and that intelligence was coming through you and each of us personally. This is Descartes and Nietzsche and killing God, and this becomes the thinking thing. I think it's entirely wrong, completely wrong. Wisdom cannot come out of one. It can't emerge from one. It can only emerge from between. And when two beings are face to face or in orbit with each other, wisdom emerges from between them. And that being might be a tree, a bird, a body of water, the flame of a candle, a spouse, a friend, a child. And inside of ourselves, there's two. Nobody's enlightened, and so we're still two inside. And even inside of that two, nothingness can emerge from the dynamic of the two-ness of our being. Rumi, I won't read the poem, but I'll tell it to you. He's talking about two childhood friends, and one of them is Joseph. I think it might be Joseph, the patriarch, and the friend shows up, and Joseph says, "What did you bring me?" I'm a big person. You're supposed to bring a big person a gift. And the friend says to Joseph, "You can't know how long I've been thinking about what to bring you, but it was so hard to choose a gift for you. You can't bring gold to a person who owns gold mines. You can't bring water to a person who lives on the most beautiful freshwater body. You can't bring cardamom from the place where they dig cardamom out of the earth. What am I supposed to bring to you? You're already such a masterful being." And Rumi says, "I brought you a mirror. I brought you the mirror of being, which is non-being. You can hold up this mirror of non-being and remember me." What does it mean to hold up the mirror of nothingness? Rumi's version that I like a lot, and I think it's part of the whole. He says, we need nothingness because nothingness is actually the thing that we love the most. Okay, so I had this conversation with my brother last night. Who here's a foodie? Do we have any foodies? I'm going to tell you, you don't really love food. What you really love is being fed and feeding people. That's what we really love. We trace the thing back. It's never, ever about the food. Eating that fantastic meal alone is not anywhere near as delicious as if the person you love made it for you or you made it for them. He says a doctor A doctor needs a wound to bring their work into the world. Each of us has a nothingness that calls our loves forth. And between us and that, wisdom is emerging. Not inside of you, not inside of the thing, from between. Bina, from the word between. Wisdom emerging between. My favorite parts of the music, we just did this recording, it was so hard. My favorite parts are the rehearsals, when everybody's at ease, and we're actually just making music and nobody cares, it's not being written down, and when the musician plays something nice, the other musicians say, yeah, yeah, yeah. And that sound, when you hear that sound, that's the real sound. Music on an album, even if it's going to be most beautiful compared to the rehearsal music sounds messy, and that's the stuff I love. We love the nothingness source that's behind all the things. So, to review, evolutionary intelligence, we've been everything in the solar system. We have access to all of it. 2, we have personal intelligences. We're all extremely unique. And our question is, which veil do you want to remove this year or to know more deeply? Where's the edges of your intelligences, the intelligences that you've had enough with and it's time for something new? And 3, the mystery of this phrase, wisdom emerging out of nothingness. What does that mean? The chokhmah me'ayin timatzeh, wisdom emerging from nothingness. Okay, I did okay. I give myself, I won't say. We're going to make the Kaddish together, and we're going to welcome, first of all, we're going to welcome the mourners, anybody who's in active mourning, who's lost somebody in the last day or week or month or year. And then we're going to welcome the souls of all the beloveds who are around us, the parents who are no longer with us, the grandparents who are no longer with us. We're going to bring them in and have them be around and feel the touch of their love. It's an all souls party. Look at all those beautiful candles. All of life passing through. Let's rise for the Kaddish on 18. Gadal v'yitkadash mei Rabbi, B'alma divrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chaychon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'yimeru, Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach leolam lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudisha, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechmata, da'amiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Aseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May great peace flow like a fountain. May the souls and the life force and the wisdom of all those be around us. Come whisper secrets. It happens. It happens. I'm going to tell you the story tomorrow. It happened to me. It was very profound. Everybody may be seated. Ani's got something to tell us. She's sleeping. Don't wake her. Okay, we're going to, did we get the wine open? Oh, score. Okay, so we're going to sing Adon Olam, then we're going to bless together. We're going to have apples and honey, and we're going to have a first taste of the year, and then after apples and honey, there's going to be a music rehearsal for anybody who wants to have this Moroccan Six thing I want to make happen tomorrow. So if anybody wants to learn the Moroccan Six, we're gonna do it after apples and honey. First, Adon Olam with Rabbi Jim Goodman's melody on 21. Why don't we do that? What we did? I love that. That was so great. Everybody, feel free to come, be around. If we can bring apples and honey and challah and wine right to the front, then we'll be ready for when it's time. Come, let's do it. Let's thank all the beautiful musicians. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you, everybody who's bringing your heart and soul. Thank you, our tech crew, Tom and Jay, and Tom's assistant over there. Thank you for coming. Yeah, come crowd into the middle. Come check out the candles, they're nice too.
עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא חפשה כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא.
This part's easy.
אחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה הוא הווה והוא יהיה תפארה תפארה חיבור, בלי פירות, ועל כוח וגבורה.
Entrust my spirit, the time I lie down, the time that I rise up. With my spirit, my body too. You are with me, I am not afraid.
ידו אף כדרוכי, ותשען בעירה וימרוכי, ויד ידו נדיבי, לא יירא, לא יירא.
Last one, come on. One more for Zafir. Shana Tova, everybody! What a sweet start to the new year. Who's got wine? Who's got challah? Who's got honey? Bring the party. Let's bring them over here, if it's possible. Everybody can help. Thank you. Do we have a cup for the wine? Wow, look at the challahs. Thank you to whoever brought challah and honey and apples. No cup? Figure it out. I had to do a wedding once and we didn't have a cup. And we just took the champagne and we used the bottle because that's what was. Yasha's got a cup. Is it full with water? You won't do it. I'll make Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagaf.
And let's do Shechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Chaim, this is funny. It's really delicious. I hope we find some. I hope we find some cups. We'll find some cups. Yeah, little baby. Where's yours? Is over there behind a chair. Come here. Come. Oi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Rumi picked this apple. We went to the orchard on Wednesday. It rained, and then it stopped raining. Rumi picked apples. Our 20 apples, a bite or so of each. Baruch atah Adonai melech haolam. Borei pri ha'etz. Please. Come, have bread and treats and meet new friends. Shana Tova. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Natalie, for all your cups. Oh, welcome. Shana Tova. Thank you for coming. I don't get it. What is it?
Just explain it. Yeah. Just said they're going to do the apples and honey, and then once that's all done, they're going to stick on in reverse with the
Okay, so I'm going to turn him down. Okay, I see violinist up.
He's got a kid or something.
Okay, so that's done, right?
What?
No, I was